right, howdy y'all. It's another week. It's another week where Riverman and myself come together and we talk about something nostalgia related. Usually to do with films, not always, but as this week will tell you, it's again about movies. Last week, what did we talk about last week? Oh, movies that actually genuinely scared us. That was pretty
Yes.
fun. That turned out to be a really good episode. And this week, we're going to be tackling the movies that our parents loved. Everybody's got dad movies, right?
Yes.
For
Yes.
me, it's more like my grandfather on my mother's side, he actually was never a movie guy. But I did watch movies with my grandmother, and my dad's dad, he watched movies. So I mean, tough if that's applicable, but we all have those movies that were in the house. And a lot of these movies, sometimes I could say I never actually sat down and watched myself. Like,
Mhm.
but it was on so much to where I've
Yeah.
seen every
Mhm.
scene at different points and I know the movie. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go ahead and that's what we're gonna talk about. The top of the show, though, we are gonna talk about just what's new, just updates with each other, and if we have any new acquisitions we wanted to go over, we can present all that stuff. Which I do have some stuff by the way. I've been
I
pretty
do too.
light for a little bit now since Christmas, but this is a pretty good week for me. So we'll talk about that in a second, but let's just check in with each other. Riverman, before we went live, we were talking about getting together. Riverman at one point was flirting with the idea of coming this month because I wanted to take him to see Jerry Cantrell, and he's betrayed me. No, he's gonna miss out, and now I'm gonna have to drag Eva. But you're good. I'm loving it. I cheated and watched some of the footage from this tour. I can't wait, man. They're playing some Alice. They're playing some weird deep cuts that they don't play live. And I
Hmm.
love Greg Puciato, band. He was in the Dillinger Escape Plan, and he's done stuff, and he can hit it, man. He's awesome. Actually, I feel like he'd be a better fit in Alice in Chains. I'm real stoked for it. I'm stoked to see the man. I was hoping it could be a full event for the two of us because we saw Jerry Cantrell at band camp, which we've never really talked about on this show because we never delved into concerts before. But
That'd
anyway,
be a good topic later on. No, yeah, I agree with that. I did want to come down there, but man, this month is just too crazy for me with the kids. I can't really swing it with any babysitters for the weekends and stuff like that.
I bet
So
you would have swung it if you would have
um,
scored Super Bowl tickets. You would have made something
that'd be
happen.
different. That's a once in a
Yeah,
lifetime.
I know. Fuck yourself. No, you know what's funny? It was funny you made it of, well, let me know if you find me tickets. Dude, if I found Super Bowl tickets, I'd be selling those bitches. They're going for $10,000. They're going for insane
I know.
money.
I know. Yeah.
I wouldn't care. I'd be like, I don't care. But I'm not looking forward to it. So I live in Phoenix. So, the Super Bowl is, I'll see, if you're listening to this post the live recording, which by the way, if you're paying attention to the scroll, you can join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time for the live stream. But if you're watching this on the video that's edited later, the Super Bowl already happened a couple days ago. But this week,
I'll be either happy or sad at that point. So
yeah, I
hopefully
mean they
happy.
lost last time, man. They're gonna lose again.
Go fuck yourself.
They're gonna lose again. No, I don't care. I don't have a horse in the race. I really don't give a shit. But for the sake of people that I know back home, because Missouri, both Omaha and both Springfield, Missouri, where I'm also from, that's Chiefs country. And it's
Yeah.
weird because like in Springfield, Missouri, they don't have obviously, the two big teams are St. Louis and Kansas City, which they don't even have the Rams anymore. Who's in St.
No,
Louis
they're in
now? Nobody.
nobody. Yeah, they're in LA now.
But even when like the Rams were there, Springfield was Chiefs country with football. But when it
Yeah.
came to baseball, it was Cardinals, St. Louis. It wasn't the Royals, which is weird. There's like no Royal fans in Springfield,
Yeah.
Missouri. But what's the MLB allegiance in Omaha? Is it dominant like KC or St. Louis or
It's the KC Royals.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
go to Springfield and Springfield has the Springfield Cardinals, the double A team. So maybe that's part of that legion, that loyalty. I don't know.
Yeah, we always go to
But
the farm league games here in my neck of the woods for the Kansas City Royals. So
welcome back. You guys might have noticed a very seamless edit in there. It's because I fucking lost connection for about 35 fucking minutes. Oh god, I just want to go Office Space on my shit sometimes. I pay like $150 for really, really good internet that and it's great when it works, but it drops out all the fucking time. Pisses me off, man.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's new game in town. Some fiber internet company that spent like a month digging up my entire neighborhood, my front yard, pissed me off.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna see, hey, I need to switch over because I'm so tired of Cox. And I don't know if I go with someone that's not as big as Cox and they have less coverage people that they got under them, maybe I won't have so much dropping out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my fucking modem or my router. I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely miserable.
I'd
But
go with
anyway,
whoever has fiber. Is all I can say.
so that's what I'm gonna go to because I pay way too much, guys. But like my speeds, I should be able to have every room in this house streaming high def games all at the same time. And I'm the only person using internet right now, and I can't fucking use it. It's really frustrating. And the worst thing in the world is lately, like my shit'll go out late at night, especially, and that bugs me on the weekends, especially because that's my time to just
Mhm.
chill and be to myself. And from like 1 to 2, it'll go out. And so that's one of those time periods where like at 1 to 2 in the morning, well, like if it was earlier in the day, there's an hour outage, great. I'll go run an errand. I'll do something outside. 1 to 2 in the morning, I'm not gonna just give it an hour. I'm probably just gonna go to fucking bed. And it's really annoying. So
Yeah,
Elon
why don't
Musk
you just do
Starlink.
Starlink? Yeah.
I don't know the first thing about Starlink. I don't even know
Just
if
go on
they
their website.
I don't know if they service my area, man, but I'm gonna Google it right now.
I think they
Yeah.
service the whole United States, don't they?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm so frustrated, but I'm not gonna let it bother me. We're gonna roll back into it. Before we had the scafu, I was just talking about the frustration. God, you could tell I'm grumpy about everything. I'm gonna be the worst old person. But I was talking about the frustration and grumpiness of the Super Bowl being in town. So I'm trying to stay off the streets because
Lucky.
as of this recording, it is coming up this Sunday, and everybody's already piling into town. And I don't understand it because we've already got all the celebrities. They've been coming into town since Sunday or Monday. I don't know why you would come in a week in advance. Like, what's the benefit there? But you know,
They have parties and all that stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, I guess you're right. So, and this is at least since I've lived here, this is the second time that they've been here. So I don't know how often. I don't know how it works. Does it go off like even trade off, like your turn, your turn, your turn, or is it like a bidding thing? Is it money behind it? Because they've got it
I
planned
don't
out.
remember.
Like they already know who's
Yeah.
going to be at next year's Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like,
They plan it out years and years and years in advance. So
okay,
you just got another turn.
but everybody walks around that's got a side hustle with their business cards ready and their elevator pitches sharpened, right? Because you never know who you're going to run into. What kind of guy with money or big businessman or celebrity, right?
There's a lot of celebrities down there right now. So
Oh, I know. Like I said, yeah, they're all over the place. That's what I'm saying. Like if you've got some kind of side hustle or you got something to prove, everybody's like on the ready all the time.
yeah.
But anyways, that's what's going on for us. I don't want to waste too much time because I felt like we just burned 40 minutes doing nothing. I want to say hi though to Sean. I want to say hi again to, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Geezer Doctor Forever.
Yeah, I think
GZDR.
it's a geezer. Yeah.
Would I buy a 4K copy of Serbian film? Absolutely not. It's a hack movie.
No.
And yeah, Assault on Precinct. Oh, the Assault on Precinct 13 remake has a lot of stars in it. Who was in that? Was that Ethan Hawke? Who was in that? Or Lawrence Fishburne? Lawrence
Uh,
Fishburne and like Ethan Hawke or something like that, right?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, Ethan Hawke, I believe.
And did you already answer these questions? Do you have any horror toy collectibles like the Blob statue or Swamp Thing, Gremlins, River?
No, I have those quarter scales, and I have a bunch of action figures in the box up top there. I don't have a whole lot of toy collectibles. I'm not like as crazy about it as Aaron is.
What's up with this new setup? You got your camera positioned differently. Did you move it permanently? Because you moved your couch. Everything's
I
you just
I had
totally
to move my computer desk. So
what
now I had
for?
to change up the room because my internet was not the greatest. So over there.
So we can now see more of what you have to offer, but I have to say it looked better before. Just the way it positioned, it was cooler.
I'm sure it did, but this is the way it's got to be.
Now you're gonna have to you have to readjust other stuff. No, don't be sorry. I'm glad because like I said, I want to have a better display than you. I want it to look.
Oh
cooler.
yeah, you won that war now. Okay, that's fine.
You lost it. You forfeited it. Now we can see your
maybe
safe.
I should get a cardboard cutout of somebody stand right next to me.
I have a giant Ash versus Evil Dead cardboard cutout that's been in my car for like 6 years in my trunk, unopened. I don't know what to do with it.
Sell it on eBay.
My girlfriend's like, "Why are you gonna throw that away?" I'm like, I don't know. At this point, it's been in my car 2 years before I even met you. It's like, why take it out now? It's just like it's not taking up any space. It's folded up and everything else.
Probably get
Anyway.
$100 for it.
Yeah, I'm starting to think I should just like sell it and flip it. So let's go ahead and talk about, speaking of collectibles, which, by the way, I mean, I have some Gremlin stuff. Let's see. Well, hold on. Geezer, you're asking the shelf under the Jason mask. Are those laser discs? No, they're
No, those are
vinyl
records. Yeah.
Yeah, all my records are off screen, like over here too. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk on that topic of things we've acquired. Do you have anything that you've purchased?
I do, and I have a Grail.
You have a Grail? How many
Yes.
things do you have? Just tell me an item count, and I'll tell you how we should do this. Geezer,
7 total. 7 total.
Is this your first time joining a stream, Geezer? Make sure you're subbing or subscribing or whatever the fuck it is on Twitch. But yeah, so that we do this every week. You have 7?
7, yeah.
Jeez, money bags over here. I probably have 7 too.
I pre-ordered stuff a while back, so
yeah, that's always my excuse too when I tell the lady, like, hey man, I pre-ordered this months ago. I paid for this years ago. Really, it's like a week ago. All right, so it's the only way I can get them off my back, right? So the only person that knows the truth is my mom, because she's like, she's here during the day, right? She lives with me, and
she's
then
like,
she'll see the packages come in. But anyway, I'll start since we have about the same.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to give or take about the same. So I've got a little bit of everything here. I don't have any toys, but anyway, I'll start with this. So we were talking about this last week, and it turns out the Changeling did get released recently on 4K.
Oh, okay.
And it was Severin, and I'm like, shit.
Okay.
I this one totally went over my head because last time I had looked, it wasn't. So I bought this, man. It's a must-have. They when I opened the box, like, they had this and the slip cover separate, rattling around in a box.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but it luckily it's still in decent shape. But no,
did you get that from the Severin website?
No, I got it from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was I believe I don't think it was priced too bad. And Severin, they're kind of doing the Shout Factory thing where you got the original cover under the slip, which I love that cover of that.
I will have to pick that up because I still haven't seen it like we talked about last time.
Oh, it's a classic. Actually, I don't mind the cover of the slip either. I mean, it's a little bit more basic, but it's got George C. Scott's wrinkled old hand with a ball, because there's a scene where he throws the ball and it throws him back. But check out, I love it, man. You got the fucking wheelchair, and you got the shadow of the kid in the wheelchair. It's creepy, dude. And I love it, hand drawn. It's fantastic. I would love that one sheet. All right, so you can go ahead. We'll just trade off since we got even number. Dude, this thing is hefty. It's like really heavy, man. I could tell there's some pack-ins in this bad boy.
Severin puts out some pretty good stuff, but not as recently. But that's probably an older title. So I picked.
It can't be that old. It can't be that old, because I'm telling you, I looked a couple of years ago. But go ahead.
So I ordered a bunch of Vinegar Syndrome stuff. I think it was end of December, early January, and it finally showed up. One thing I got was, I enjoy this movie, and I love the slip and everything. Dolly Dearest.
Oh yeah.
It's great, man. I did watch it. This was like the first time I've seen it in like years and years, and it's really enjoyable. My wife came down; she was laughing her ass off.
Yeah, I've watched it once, and I'd be hard pressed to really relay the movie to you, because it was I didn't think it was the most memorable thing. I watched it not recently. I watched it within the last decade. So yeah, anyway, that's a total Mac movie, by the way, for anybody that knows Mac shit. But anyway, so keeping the theme of last week, I was jealous. So when Riverman gets shit, I tend to break, and this is a double dip. And I complained about it before, but I had to get it because I noticed they have a lot of the Shout 4Ks pretty cheap on Amazon right now. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I had to get out of their stat because I want to, oh God, so tempting. But I went ahead and picked up Life Force.
Okay.
Because I really do like this movie. I think visually it's a stunning movie. And you got Mathilda May walking around naked the whole movie in 4K. It's gorgeous. She plays an alien vampire. I mean, you've never seen this, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay. The babe on the back, that is the main, main creature, whatever, villain, whatever you want to call it, she is naked the whole time. Like that's like the only fucking time she has anything on in the movie, and they took a picture of it. But she's walking
Gotcha.
around full frontal the whole movie, and it doesn't get old. It's awesome, and she was quite a stunner. So hopefully, if you guys haven't seen Life Force, man, check it out. And I think it's one I tend to forget about when I kind of talk about Toby Hooper, because I think about, he had fucking Texas Chainsaw and he had Poltergeist, and that's debatable, right? But I always forget to mention Life Force, because it's fantastic. Great effects too.
So mine was, these are kind of like my more expensive ones that I picked up. So I got these in, I don't think it was January. I finally got them because I didn't order them prior. And the Vinegar Syndrome stuff is pretty expensive usually, but I did pick up Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh, nice. How much do they charge? How much is that going for?
I think it's like $40.
Wow.
It comes with the box, the hard box, which is really cool. It comes with a slipcase, which is really cool. That's the original. Yeah. So both artworks, A and B, from the actual one sheets, and then of course, they have like the reversible sleeve and everything.
Is that the only 4K of that out, or did Arrow end up putting that in 4K too? Because I know they had a blue release.
This is the only 4K, and I didn't own this movie on like any format other than VHS, so I picked that one up.
That's very cool. Geezer, sorry if I'm calling you Geezer. That's the easiest way for me to say your name. Geezer Doctor, the same way you like Matilda walking around naked is the same way my girlfriend likes Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen walking around naked. Yeah. Is he the one is he the blue one, the big blue dick, or is he blue? I can't remember. Okay, so also continuing with the theme of last week we talked about it, but this movie also made my scariest movies list. I went ahead and bought a copy of The Wailing on Blu-ray. So this movie's not on 4K. I don't know if it'll ever get a 4K release. It's a South Korean movie.
Okay.
But it was only like $8 on Walmart.com. So
nice.
You know what? I'll buy the 4K. I'll just buy the Blu-ray for this. And if it comes out on 4K, I won't feel gypped. But I mean, Riverman, it is streaming. You should watch it. I mean, I'd say buy it because it's so cheap. But stream it. I think it's on Peacock, and I think it's on Prime. It's on a few different streaming services.
Okay.
But this movie is, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think it's the best horror movie in 20 years at least.
Really?
It's great. It's 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. Has anybody in the chat seen this? Fucking do it. I would love to see Joe Bob. I don't know. This was on Shudder for the longest time, if it's still not on Shudder, but Joe Bob should do it. It's just the movie is, I think it's rather long. Where is it? God, I don't know. It's a long one, man. This movie's this movie is 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But it really doesn't feel like it. It's like you are immersed. I love it. It's super, super, super good. But go ahead.
Next one. This one came out recently. I've been looking forward to this for years. This is the first time it ever been released on Blu-ray 4K anything, and it is the Sidekicks 4K box set.
You're on that island alone, my friend.
I love this movie growing up. I love the Karate Kid movies. So
you like his knockoff cousins?
I do, man. Me and one of my buddies in middle school used to quote this movie all the time. So
yeah,
I love it. I'm glad it got released.
Todd's been talking about this damn movie since I've known him, and it's just one that I never actually watched as a kid, and I finally watched it like a couple years ago as a grown man. So as you can imagine, I was miserable the entire time. It was bad. And I'm like, you'd have to have grown up with this. You have to have nostalgic attachment to this, because it's just not a good movie at all. It's really
it's fantastic, man.
It's really
it's cheese.
Well, I mean,
crap.
It's like when we did Surf Ninjas commentary, and of course Todd's just remembering certain movies as a kid, and he's like, "Oh yeah, awesome, can't wait." I'm like, "No,
this is way better than Surf Ninjas, man.
Dude,
10 times better than that.
I actually have to contest that. but then again, I have at least some nostalgic attached to Surf Ninjas, as bad as that
Yeah.
is. I
Well, so do I.
They're all bad movies. Let's just be honest. They're all terrible. But let's see. Haven't seen The Wailing, but is it as scary as The Ring? I actually think the original Ring is fucking scary. I think it's, and I know the original Ring was like every like generation, maybe not even so much a generation. There's like a movie that breathes life into the horror, community and genre, and there's a whole bunch of copycats. You know, The Ring started the PG-13 horror phenom, right? When The
Yeah.
Ring came out, when Todd and I were in high school, I think it probably came out in like 03, 02, I don't even remember. And it was a remake of Ringu, and it was directed by Gore Verbinski, and it was PG-13. And I remember everybody was going crazy. I remember our buddy Travis, like we were at his house on the weekend, and I remember his sister Jessica came home from seeing the movie, or John was like, "Yeah, she said she cried." Like, because that was one of those movies. It was like The Exorcist of the 70s where
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
crying, like, oh, it's getting hyped up, like, oh, you're gonna throw up in the theater, you're gonna cry, it's so scary. And they never live up to that. They never do.
No.
But people go to these movies and they I believe I've been to them. The next so that started this whole like decade of PG-13 horror. And then also to go along with that, remaking Japanese horror movies. Right. We had The
Yeah. Yeah.
Grudge, we had all kinds of stuff.
Ringo.
And
Yeah.
they were all PG-13. And then a little bit later, maybe not even a decade later, we had Saw, and that started a whole new fucking gore porn thing. I don't feel like Eli Roth would have a career without Saw, because I think Saw walked so Hostel could run, because then like the gore shit just became mainstream, the torture shit. And then obviously we had Paranormal Activity, and then Paranormal Activity reignited the whole found footage thing, the low budget stuff, and then we had that dominating for a long ass time.
And then
And
zombies.
but it was the same thing where like
Yeah.
I went to see, I think, at least one of the Paranormal Activities in the theater, and it just became an event. Like, dude, everybody at my work was going to see it. It didn't matter what kind of walk of life they were, fucking some mom, some fucking preppy chick. It didn't matter. They were very mainstream, and it was just like the place to be on a Friday night. And everybody would be screaming, and I'm like, it's not really that scary, but you know how it is. It's like when you go on a roller coaster, everybody's screaming and throwing their hands up,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
kind of like surrender yourself to being more scared, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
kind of overact it. And anyway, I feel like The Ring was really scary, but this movie, The Wailing, I think it's scary for a different reason. It's just very philosophical, and there's one scene in particular that I find very creepy. There's one scene in it I think is creepier than anything in The Ring, at least. So it at least hits me pretty home. So I think you should watch it. Like I said, it's pretty easy to find online if you don't want to like fork over the $8-9 blind buy, which I recommend. Let's see. Does Chuck do the heel kick and side kicks, Todd?
Oh
So
yes.
before Saw, we had the Final Destination movies. Well, yeah, the Final Destination movies, they were kind of like on their own plane, though, weren't they? I mean, they were like in between the Saw renaissance and the whole new what is it called? Dimension, right?
Dimension.
You
Yeah.
had like
Extremes.
the Screams, and you had the I Know What You Did Last Summers. You had like the weird movies like Urban Legend and Valentine. We had this whole there's
House of
always like a
Wax. Yeah.
well, that even came a little later. That was in our remake era. I'd say like from
Oh,
like
that's
the
right.
early 2000s, that was like House of Wax, Black Christmas. There's always
Yeah.
something going on, but The Wailing is completely original. I think it's absolutely fucking phenomenal. But anyway, is it your turn or my turn?
I think I just did
You just did
sidekicks, right?
sidekicks. All right. So
Yeah.
now I have some records. First up to bat, and I got weak, man. I haven't made any purchases since Christmas, but I got a couple records fairly on the cheap that I know I've been wanting. So I just, whatever. I got the Misfits, Earth AD.
Hmm.
Right. I love the Misfits. I love their couple of classic records, and then pretty much this is going to complete me. Then I got their greatest hits, which is awesome. It
Hmm.
is probably the best collection ever. And honestly, I would be happy just going to a desert island with just this collection. And the
Mhm.
Misfits were interesting because, you know, there's like unique tracks across everything. So it's like even when they released their greatest hits, it had like B-sides that never made it to their couple of records they released because they didn't put out a lot of shit, right? And then they had like Static Age, which came out later, which is basically an unreleased record, and all kinds of stuff. But I showed 2, so go ahead and show 2. I didn't even think about that.
Okay, so let's see. This one I picked up from Hamilton Books, and it was like $7, and I still didn't own it. I had it on DVD a long time ago. I didn't like it because the transfer is so terrible, and you couldn't see anything because it was so dark. So I'm gonna give this another shot. The Tourist Trap Blu-ray.
Oh, I love Tourist Trap.
So I haven't seen this. I had the DVD and it was trash. You can barely see anything. So
The DVD or the Blu-ray?
The DVD.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this transfers better because I do want to watch Tourist Trap again. I tried to watch it on one of the streaming services and they had the old crappy transfer and I couldn't watch it. I'm like,
was it
Shudder? I don't
Shudder?
Watch it like this. I think it was Shudder. Yeah.
Really? The one that Joe Bob did?
It was like a VHS rip or something. Yeah.
I don't remember it looking terrible. I watched when Joe Bob first came back with Last Drive-In. That wasn't the first marathon. I don't remember it looking bad, but I was watching on a shitty laptop while I was doing some work. So, but I have the Blu-ray that Charles Band signed at that convention back.
Oh, yeah, okay.
2013, right? That's the copy I have. Sorry, is that on Blu-ray or what was that copy from?
Blu-ray. Yeah, I got it from Hamilton Books.
Oh, okay. Who put that?
They're like out? This is a Full Moon. Full Moon put it out.
Do you have a slipcover though?
Yeah, it's a Hamilton Book exclusive slipcover. So
I was about to say because like mine doesn't have a slipcover. Fucking like Charles Band opened mine all up and signed him when I didn't even ask him to. So it's like I've got a copy.
Like, I don't want your stinking signature.
I got a copy of like fucking Subspecies and Trancers and all kinds of shit. And he signed all of them. He opened them all up. So it's like I paid more money to get them signed, and they were like technically used. You know how it works? Like if they opened it, it's technically a used product. Anyway,
he's whatever. Like $10 for each signature.
Okay. He's also asking. Oh no,
go ahead.
He's at Myers mask. You mean on the cover of the movie? That was the killer.
Yeah.
Looks like more like Leatherface than anything.
Yeah. Moving on, my next one. My next one is a recommendation from one of my good friends, John. I hated this first movie, but he's like, dude, I don't like the first movie, but get the sequel because the sequel is really, really good. No. And it was on sale on Amazon. The Maniac Cop 2.
How much was that?
The 4K, 25.
Okay.
So yeah, I picked that up. Maniac Cop 2. He's like, yeah, check out the sequel. You'll really like the sequel. I'm like, all right. Because I wasn't a fan of the first one. I was just, I didn't enjoy it.
I've never seen any of the Maniac Cops, but I think Joe Bob even said the same thing. Obviously talking about Maniac, and he was talking about the Maniac Cop movies, and he was talking about how I think he said the same thing, that the first one was terrible. It was like, but the second, I think he even said like the third one, right? Like they were just stupid entertainment. So I don't know. How many more things do you got, Todd?
2.
Okay, so I am going to show the next 3 as one because they kind of belong to each other.
Okay.
I bought Waxwork. They put out the TMNT soundtracks again. So I got all 3. They saw me coming. I really just wanted the first one. Todd alerted me they were back in print, which is great. And but they had all 3 and I couldn't say no. So there's the first one. It's a 2 LP. This one's obviously my baby now. And then they all kind of like got new artwork that go with each other. Here's Secret of the Ooze. The other 2 were single LPs. And then, the movie is shit, but at this point, I had to just complete it. And I got Turtles 3, Turtles in Time. Absolute dog shit movie. I don't even really remember what the soundtrack sounds like. I doubt it's fucking good, but it is what it is. All right, so go ahead and show yours, and I'll have one more, and then you could finish us off.
Okay, so my next one is another recommendation from my buddy John. He told me he's like, dude, you got to get this set. It's an awesome movie because I haven't seen it yet, but it looks right up my alley. It's a British reality horror pseudo documentary television film, blah blah blah, from 1992. But I've been wanting to see this for a long time, and they came out with the set, and it is Ghost Watch. And this is like, this is beautiful packaging. It has like a booklet, it has tons of stuff in it. And this is on Hamilton Books for $17. So this is the Blu-ray, and it's man, I'm looking forward to
it's a movie?
This. Yeah, it's a movie. Okay. Never heard of it. From 1992. Yeah, it's It's like I don't know if it was originally aired on television or whatever, but it was very popular. It's like a horror mockumentary type of film. I've been wanting to see it. It was on the
It's 4K or
BBC
it's Blu-ray?
Blu-ray.
I'll have to check it out. I'm
So
really.
yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it. He says it's awesome, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I'm looking forward to watching it.
Where did you pick up that particular set?
Hamilton Books.
Is that a website? I don't even know what Hamilton Books is.
Yeah, they have really good deals on like. Basically, I think they buy up all of their stuff from other companies when they're about ready to go out of print. So,
Okay.
like, they buy up a bunch of Scream Factory titles, and they have a lot of discounted like Blu-rays, and they have some 4Ks for cheaper too. You're not really guaranteed any slip covers or anything like that, but some of the
Yeah,
sets
you,
like this
can get
is
the
like
you want the Dwayne Johnson Baywatch on 4K. They got it for $5.95.
yeah, they have some pretty cheap stuff if you just want to pick up some cheap titles.
Okay, interesting. I'll have to peruse it. What's up, Mendoza? He was saying, yeah, Turtle Power ooze, and my man cave is looking good. I was saying Riverman had to adjust his setup. Now he's got his camera and stuff positioned in a different place. You get a wider shot of what he's got going on. But like I said, I think I'm winning the race now. What are you keeping that safe over there? Your guns?
Yes.
Now, if you have an intruder, are you going to be able to unlock that safe fast enough to where it makes a difference?
I have other safes.
Okay. So that's like the doomsday safe. It's like you guys get locked in the basement like Night of the Living Dead or something.
Pretty
All
much.
right. So my last thing just came in today. Oh, by the way, those Waxwork TMNT vinyl records, they came with awesome little postcards of each movie. I'm not really going to use them for anything, but they were a nice touch. They look really neat. They're too nice and pretty to throw away, so I don't know what to do with them.
You can
Maybe I'll
frame
send
them.
That's not really big. All right, so my last thing came in today. I've had this pre-ordered for a minute, and it is an omnibus of the adaptations for the comic adaptations of the X-Men animated series. Right, my favorite cartoon of all time, probably. And so, it's not like word for word, but they're absolutely adaptations, and all the art's like comic style, right? Very, very 90s X-Men comics. It doesn't look like the animation of the show, but dude, it's a bad motherfucker. I really, really love it, and I love this series, and I love, well, everything except for the 5th season. But this thing is awesome. I don't remember how much it cost, but it was probably 100 at least. But I love it. I don't buy too much of that kind of crap, but I made an exception for that. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I like it a lot. Plus, I like it, dude, because I know the series like the back of my hand. I don't feel like I really have to and I can just kind of flip through and I can really kind of graze it because I know the series. I know it, and I can really just kind of like bury myself in it without having to like sweat the content too much. But all right, so you got one more thing?
Yeah, I got my Grail. So this is a Grail that I've been wanting to repurchase. This is something I purchased originally back in December 1994 at a Walden Books, and this is one of the mags that really got me into the horror genre. I sort of dabbled in horror, and then once I got this magazine, I went all out. It means so much to me. I've been waiting probably 6-7 years. I've been looking on eBay for this, and it finally popped up because I've never seen it anywhere else. And it's kind of magazines like they're really hard to find. Like if you're looking out for a specific one. So I found this at a really good price. And I picked it up, and I don't know. I might have shown you this back in the day.
I don't know. Oh, back in the day, maybe. Let's see.
It's the Wes Craven's New Nightmare magazine.
I don't think so. Was that a Fangoria thing?
Yep, this was a Fangoria Presents. It was like the official movie magazine for Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Very cool. I mean, this thing is freaking awesome. I carried this thing around everywhere. I mean, beautiful, beautiful photos. it basically goes through, all of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. Like they do write-ups on it. And I would sit
So it's
there.
not just New Nightmare, it was promotion for that, but they go over the
Promotion.
entire.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Very
go over
cool.
the entire catalog. And I don't know. This was awesome to me. Like I read this front to back, cover to cover. It's really cool because they got like a bunch of like old ads for, like the Terminator 2 stuff.
Oh yeah. I love those old comic book ads and shit like that, magazine ads from my youth and stuff. So
And it has my favorite Freddy poster. I'm not gonna open it up, but it's this Wes Craven's New Nightmare of Freddy, and this is like this photo is just so freaking cool, dude.
oh yeah,
I want to
I know the
I want to
shot.
frame this. I used to have this hanging up in my room.
So why don't you
but
frame it? Why you don't want to take it out?
don't tempt me. I don't know. I might, but this is my favorite photo of Robert Englund. I love
Just
this photo.
just make sure you can get a frame first. Don't rush to it. But if you find a
Yeah,
frame,
yeah.
rip it out. Does so wait, one more time. Where did you buy it from? So you bought somebody had a new copy?
Yeah, so I got this on eBay, and I haven't seen this since when in 1994. So that'd be like what,
Almost 30 years ago.
30 years, 30
29
years. So I haven't seen this in 30 years, and this magazine got me into horror collecting and horror movies in general. Like
How
really
much did that run
hardcore.
you? Is it more sentimental, or did it actually have like a dollar price attached to it, like a hefty tag?
No, it wasn't hefty. I spent like $40 on it.
Okay.
And this is like something I've never seen before. Like I haven't seen it since. So it could be out there, but I don't know what it should have went for because I haven't seen it forever. But I've been looking for like 7-8 years just to pick one of these up. And yeah, it was a nice price for me. It's more sentimental for anything, but yeah, man, this is one thing that just makes me happy looking at the cover, man. So if I ever meet Robert Englund, maybe I'll get him to sign the cover.
Hey,
so
I
then
was
I can
trying to
frame
say
it.
Todd was supposed to come out here this month for a Jerry Cantrell concert, but now we'll see if we'll get him out here for this convention we got going on in the summer, and then Robert
The
Englund's going to be
Mask, man.
there.
I used to have the one on the left.
Oh, I can't see it. Is that The Mask, dude?
Yeah, The Mask.
Oh, nice.
Dorian, dude. Look at his veiny neck, dude.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Dorian.
Yeah. So I've been tempted a lot to. I'll get nostalgic thinking about the old magazines I used to have, and believe me, even if it's just more sentimental to me and it's not necessarily like valuable or anything, and I'm like, oh man, like I could just go on eBay right now and I could look for I could just buy up all the old Sega Visions magazine, right?
Those are expensive though, dude.
Well, yeah, whatever. I'm saying like even like some of the old Guitar Worlds and Metal Edge magazines. I used to love it, but I'm like, even if they were dirt cheap, what am I gonna do with that shit? It's just more shit that I don't have space for, and it's cool, but it's nostalgia. I would look through them and then I'd be like, they'd go in a closet. But yeah, I wish I had like all those old PSM magazines, Nintendo Powers, all the stuff that I had growing up. I wish. I wish I had like a it'd be cool to have like a magazine rack, like at a dentist office, like somewhere like nice in your house, you can justify putting that stuff in.
I don't collect magazines or anything like that. I have a stack of magazines, but this one I'm gonna frame eventually. So I'm stoked to have it, man.
Geezer, Jackie Earl Haley would have to pay me for my autograph.
Yes, pretty much.
No, I used to have this issue of Guitar World that I really liked with Kirk Hammett from Metallica on the cover, and it was when No Leaf Clover just came out, so 1999. And I used to have the Guitar World had some really cool like centerfold posters in them that were obviously shot exclusively for Guitar World. And that one I took it out and I had it on my wall, and it was Kirk Hammett naked on a toilet with his.
I remember that. Yeah,
he was on a toilet, dude, and his guitar was covering his dick.
You gave that to me.
Did I give that to you?
Yeah, you gave it to me.
Okay. I was wondering what happened to it. Did I give it to you? When did I give it to you?
My old house remember my old house in my basement? I had it hanging on the wall, dude.
Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, but I love that thing. I don't remember giving it to you, to be honest with you, but I guess you have to know.
Gave it I think I have a photo of it.
I love that thing. I think I don't know if my dad maybe take it down because it was fucking gay. Because he's like, what the fuck is this?
You
I
probably
thought it
did,
was
so you
funny,
gave it to
dude.
me. You told me to hold on to it.
It was funny, dude. I mean, it's I liked it.
I
I
liked
know
it too. It
way
was cool.
I know way too many of the tattoos he has on his body. Way more than I should know.
Why don't you pick that magazine up so you could frame that, dude? That'd be funny.
I mean, I think you can actually buy the poster on eBay. People
Oh,
have
you
just like
can.
people sell
Okay.
those Guitar World like oh, my favorite poster. Um
You can put it in your
I got
bathroom too.
yeah, that's funny. I got a copy of Metal Edge magazine back in the day. And the Metal Edge magazine, now the Guitar World posters, like we're talking about, they were just centerfold posters. They were not
Yeah.
real big, but they were cool, great size, and their quality. The Metal Edge magazine had like the multi-folded posters that were huge,
Yeah.
and the best one I had was, and I wish I still had it. It was real fucking jumbo, and it was just a up close shot of Phil Anselmo with Tom Araya, and it was reinventing the steel era Phil, where he looked like Charles Manson, and
Yeah.
he's just with, and it's just
That was the
I don't know. I
best.
I wish I had that giant ass poster, dude. It's fucking rad as hell. But anyway, yeah, that's cool stuff, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been tempted to just search for my favorite magazines, like just get a couple. I just don't want to go down this rabbit hole, dude. But I have a couple
Yeah.
favorite issues.
Yeah. I'm not looking to, because I'm not a magazine guy. I mean, there's
Yeah.
very few that I would pick up.
I used to have I had my entire collection for the longest time, and I remember like gosh, I don't maybe before I moved out to Arizona, maybe a decade ago, my, my mom just put them all out in the trash because I was saving them at her house to come collect them, and they were fucking
Mm.
gone. Like, damn it! And then once you lose all stuff like that, you're like, well, fuck, I don't want to fucking start over again. Fuck that. Rebuy
Yeah.
shit. You get all bitter about it. But anyway, enough of that show of emotion, Buzz. We're gonna talk about the meat of the hour, which is mom and dad movies. It could be grandparents too, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
But it's those movies, as I prefaced, that you maybe you've never actually seen them yourself, as far as you sat down and you've watched these movies front to back, but they've been on in your house so much that you've seen it the whole movies a million times, even if out of sequence. So I don't know how many you got. I had to cut it off because I had a lot, but I actually got it down to, and we don't have to stay on these movies very long, but
No.
I got
No.
about 11 or 12. How many did you
Okay.
get?
I have about 7.
Okay. So I'll
I
start.
could think of more. Go ahead.
I'm just going to start with the cream of the crop, the entire Godfather series. And fun fact, I've never once sat down and watched any of the Godfathers myself. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. I've never sat and watched the Godfather front to back, but they were on. My mom would have Godfather marathons. She'd be off
Hmm.
from work and she'd have Godfather Day. And I just I've seen all those movies, and I know exactly what happens in all of them, and I've watched them out of sequence, and I just know. And I kind of feel like I can't watch them anymore. I can't actually sit. One of these days I feel like I owe it to myself to just sit down and actually watch them myself on my own time. But I don't know, they're kind of ruined. Like
Yeah.
even if I've never really fairly watched them. And just to kind of blend it in, she would often throw into those Scarface days. Oh, sorry, Godfather, she would throw in Scarface.
Okay.
And so it would be like more like a Pacino day. And then yeah, my mom's in the chat right now. Yeah, huge fan, she says, and Scarface. And same thing with Scarface. I've never once in my life, and I like Brian De Palma.
Oh, Scarface is great, man.
I've never actually sat down and watched it myself front to back because I've
Mm.
seen it in passing in every scene here and there so many times. I don't need to. And it's got so many iconic scenes to where it's like you kind of know the movie anyway.
Yeah.
It's been parodied so much, but one of these days. But you can go ahead and say something.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, the trilogy. Mine would be Indiana Jones
Oh,
trilogy, and that's probably why I really still enjoy those films. I know you said you weren't a huge fan of them because you didn't watch
I just
them
didn't watch them. Yeah,
in
growing up.
in child eyes type of thing, but yeah, that those were well. I think my grandfather, when we lived with him, all he would do is record movies off of television. So that'd be on the rotation. Those first 3 films, watched them over and over again. Watched all the commercials and everything too. So um, yeah, so I would say the Indiana Jones films.
Okay, so my mom's in the chat, so all these movies are gonna be her movies because my dad, I don't know, wasn't really a I don't really associate him with movies. I mean, he watched stuff, but he didn't wear shit out. My mom wore shit out.
Mm.
And my mom is saying Goodfellas, but you never watched fucking Goodfellas growing up. Don't fucking front. You watched good. I think I saw Goodfellas before you did. Yeah, you love it now, but you weren't watching Goodfellas when we were growing up. Don't even lie. But no, Goodfellas might be one of your favorite movies now, but I'm talking about the ones that were being played in the households and stuff. Uh, she used to watch this. She still does this movie Cadence with Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen. It's about this guy in the military, and to get kicked out of the military, he gets drunk and tattoos his hands. What does he tattoo? 8 balls on his hands or something stupid like that. So he goes to a military prison, and they call it Cadence because, well, it's a double entendre because they all sing like a chain gang. So there's the musical cadence, but he's also a white guy and they're all black. So a cadence is like that one off note that's a little different than the rest of them. So he's the white guy. He's different than they're all black. And yeah, it's a good movie. It's definitely not like a great movie, but I grew up with it. So yeah, it's good, I guess. And I don't know. Did you have one? You can go.
Yeah. My next one it was pretty much one of my mom watched it all the time. Fried Green Tomatoes. Did you ever watch that? Came out in
That is.
1991.
Wait, that is
Comedy.
one. I didn't put that on the list, but that's one my mom watched a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. The Kathy Bates movie. Yeah. I enjoyed that movie. I did
I'm
watch it with her.
older and I have better insurance when she like hit that girl's
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell, dude, Buddy getting hit by the fucking train.
Yeah.
And it cuts. And you just see him look up. Anyway. And then like I remember they cut up what's her face's abusive husband, dude, put him in that fucking barbecue, unconvinced. God,
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, that's a total chick flick, but
I have
that
a
was
lot of
definitely one
those.
of our two.
Yeah.
Another huge one in our household. Yeah, Dirty Dancing. My mom is adding. Yeah, Dirty Dancing was one as well. No one puts baby in the corner. Yeah, for sure. I forgot about that one. No, but I put Young Guns 2. I'm not even gonna put Young Guns 1 because I feel like Young Guns 2 is the one that was worn out. And I do love Young Guns 2 because in Young Guns 2 it's a fun movie, you know. It's a fun movie. I really like it. And it's got that John Bon Jovi solo song Blaze of Glory in it. He did the music video for it. I think in the video for that, he's like on the edge. It's almost like an edge somewhere in like on a plateau somewhere in the desert, and it's like a drive-in movie. And on the plateau, he's just there playing a guitar, not plugged in on a mountain for some reason. And there's a giant drive-in movie theater screen behind him outdoors, and it's playing the scenes from Young Guns 2. But that's a great movie. Lou Diamond Phillips and Kiefer Sutherland, which Kiefer Sutherland was like a big thing. I don't know, like a lot of movies I think could go on this list that were Kiefer movies. Same thing with Charlie Sheen.
There's quite a bit of Kiefer.
And Charlie Sheen, Charlie Sheen was in the first Young Guns. He was not in the second one. But Young Guns 2 is the I think the superior movie. But go ahead, your turn.
Mine would be a big family staple. Would be 1987's Overboard with Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
That's a fantastic movie. It's one of the greatest comedies ever. But that wasn't a staple in our house. Yeah, but it's a great movie.
Stable with my grandma and my mom. So yeah, that's one I still watch to this day. It's still one of my favorite comedies.
I don't have any like staples of my like my grandmother, but you know, one set of movies that I watched multiple times with my grandmother, my mom's mom, Bloodsport and Kickboxer. I don't know why. Like they would play them on like TBS and TNT, and my grandmother would be in her bedroom watching those movies, and I go in there, we'd watch them. I'd sit on the floor, and on multiple occasions, I watched those two Van Damme movies with her, and they were the TV versions, so you don't get to see Van Damme waving at naked little boys and their penis in a pontoon boat. So funny, but missing the good stuff. Okay, this is one of the big ones. I brought this up before when we talk about this flick. For God's sakes, didn't come from me. Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. This is a mom movie. She was obsessed with it, rented it a bunch, and it's just one of those movies that's so ingrained in my DNA. I'm fooled into thinking it's a good movie, but it's really not. Like it's a good movie. Like I like it. It's sentimental, But like from a writer standpoint, if you watch the movie and the way it's put together, it is shit. It really is, Mom. I apologize. You're gonna get offended. But the movie's all over the place. It doesn't know whether it wants to be a heist movie, a fucking revenge movie, a buddy cop movie. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's like everything in the world, and it's not great at any of them. But with that said, it's a fun movie, if that makes sense. It's total B movie.
Hmm.
Geezer, Cole, you've watched it, haven't you?
Oh, Harley Davidson. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
watched that
you know what I
before.
mean? Like, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's
Yeah.
like it's got always
It does
elements going on.
parts.
It starts off as a heist movie, then their whole bar of friends gets murdered, then it turns into a fucking revenge plot. It's just so much stuff. And Geezer Doctor, Coal Miner's Daughter, Pink Panther, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, Footloose, Grease. Footloose and Grease. Those were two of the movies. 100% that my mom liked.
Yep.
And
Oh yeah, Grease is great.
I've never liked Footloose. I still don't like Footloose.
Oh, it's great, man. I love
It's
Footloose.
not a good movie. Why you like Footloose and you're a guy?
Yes, I loved it when I was a kid, man. It's still great.
Skinny Chris Penn. It's just the most asinine. It's just the most asinine plot. A town that has
no
said
dancing.
No
allowed.
to dancing. It's the dumbest thing. Even like the preacher's daughter type of thing. What year is this? Like, what year are we talking about? It's the dumbest thing in the world. But yeah, Grease too. I never liked Grease. And that's a movie I've never watched front to back because I've seen it. Even if I've never watched it, I've seen it. Trust me, the whole damn fucking movie. It's not good. Anyway,
Okay.
I am gonna go. Yeah,
Go ahead.
go. No, you go. Go ahead.
So this one is probably the biggest one.
Okay.
And this is my grandparents. So my grandfather, my grandmother, and every time we went over there, we watched the same movie. And you probably won't know what it is, but the premise is an active volcano threatens a South Pacific island resort and its guests as a power struggle ensues between the property developer and a drilling foreman. And the name of the film is When Time Ran Out. So it's a disaster movie from 1980. It's PG and it's starring Paul Newman. So they were obsessed with Paul Newman. And this film, I've seen it a ton of times with them. Well, when they were still alive. And they love this. They love disaster movies. That's all. And another disaster movie might come up soon. So
I mean, you can say a couple, if you want, if it's relevant. I don't care.
My other one would be Airport 77. And this movie's absurd. So like a plane crashes into the ocean and basically sinks, and then people are like in the plane with it underwater and stuff, and they got to try to get out of it.
Yeah.
And they loved all those disaster movies. And I don't know, they are fun. They're stupid. They're made for TV crap, but in the 80s and the 90s. But
it's like that one TV movie, The Day After, or whatever it was, with the Goldberg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say before I forget, because I didn't put it on the list, but I'm gonna go and say it. I had Iron Eagle on the list, but I'm also gonna put another Louis Gossett Jr. movie as well, Officer and Gentleman. My mom watched the fuck out of those, and I can easily say I don't feel like I've watched enough Iron Eagle. I feel like I could watch that one and feel like I'm getting something out of it. Of course I've seen Officer and Gentleman, and I also want to throw in there too. God, what is the other one? I had it. Fuck. I lost it because I'm coming up with these as I'm thinking. I didn't write them down, and I had another one and I totally lost it. But all I know is Iron Eagle and Officer and Gentleman. Maybe. Steel Magnolias, the worst. That is the chick flick to end all chick flicks. By the way, my mom watched Steel Magnolias all the damn time.
That's a Tom Cruise movie.
No,
I'm thinking of
Steel Magnolias is Julia Roberts, Tom Skerritt, Daryl Hannah.
Okay.
It's a chick flick, dude. Like it's, I know, Mom. I said it. You don't have to type it now. Like that. No, it's Steel Magnolias. Okay, Steel Magnolias. same fucking thing. But that is the ultimate.
It's another Sally Field, dude. Yeah.
Yes, it is the ultimate sob, and it's got Dolly Parton, right? Dolly Parton.
Okay.
It's the ultimate just chick flick. Just people dying, women getting fucking abused and abusive relationships. It's just too much, man. I can't.
It's a Lifetime film, pretty much.
Definitely. With a budget. So you can go ahead and fire off a couple.
My next one will be well, the first three were big staples, but the first one was the biggest staple, and that's National Lampoon Vacation.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, we watched that a million times over. And my dad looked like Chevy Chase, so he he always tried to act like Chevy Chase and stuff, which wasn't really funny, but everybody like said he looked like him and stuff. So we loved all those National Lampoon's movies. Of course, European. We loved European. We loved Christmas, but the first
I,
one is
the first one
was
is by far the best. I think Christmas was the one that was playing in the house the most growing up. I don't think I saw the original Vacation until mm, eighth or ninth grade. I don't think, and that's by far the best one. I love Christmas too. And we liked Vegas Vacation, as silly as Vegas Vacation is.
I like Vegas. Do you
Yeah,
like
that came.
I
I fucking hate European. I think
I love
it's the
European,
low
dude.
point. It is the low point. There's just something about that one that doesn't fire off for me, and I really don't like the kids in that. They're just not. I don't know. It's just not the one. But who knows? I'm always tempted to kind of go back and watch those. Um. Oh, I put Mask on here. Rocky Dennis and Cher.
Oh, that's a great
What?
movie. Yeah.
That's it. That is a great movie. But I feel like that's one that was spun a lot in the house. And see, the thing is my mom really liked Sam Elliott. I think that's why
Oh
she was.
yeah. So does
Not
my
that she was
mom. Yeah.
she's not a
So did
Sam
my
Elliott.
mom.
It's just he's I don't know. Guess one of those guys. But yeah. And speaking of Sam Elliott, wasn't Sam Elliott also in the Long Riders? Mom, she's in the chat. She loved the Long Riders, right?
I don't remember
And
that.
it's a Western movie, and it had, I think it was kind of known for the cast was stacked with sibling actors. So it had Randy Quaid and Dennis Quaid, for example. But it had, I don't remember who all was in. I'm gonna look it up actually. The Long Riders. I feel like maybe Sam Elliott wasn't in that, and I'm making that up. But maybe I just want him to be in every Western. I mean, the
You
Long
should be.
Riders
Yeah.
Long Riders was directed by Walter Hill. So 1980, this movie came out. And it's got so you'll see the theme, brothers. David and Robert Carradine. They played Robert and Cole Younger, right? Stacy Keach played Frank James. Dennis Quaid played Ed Miller. Randy Quaid played Seal Miller. Like they really cast brothers as brothers. And Jesse James was played by James Keach, so real life brothers. And Keith Carradine is also in it as well. So, yeah, Keach. Yeah, so it's pretty. I want to watch that because I don't really remember soaking that one up too much. But if I could stay on the topic of Westerns real quick before we move back on to Todd, Frank and Jesse was a big one. And that one I've actually watched myself a lot. And it's kind of another Young Guns type movie where it's not historically accurate at all. Like they really made a movie fictionalized comedy but they turned Jesse and Frank James into a buddy comedy is what they did. Kind of like how they turned Young Guns 2 and stuff into like a buddy movie, right? They don't really portray the characters the way they really were in real life. Like if you want something a little bit more accurate to Frank and Jesse James, watch The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, right? The Brad Pitt movie.
Yeah.
He was psychotic. He was mentally ill and he was a murderer. But Frank and Jesse, the movie starring Rob Lowe and Bill Paxton, it makes you want to be their best friends. Like they're more Robin Hood and they're just goofy and silly but it's a fun movie. And I have it on DVD. I don't think it ever I'm not sure if it ever got a Blu-ray release, but I'd recommend watching that if you can, if it's streaming anywhere. I would watch it tonight if I could find it. So you can go.
My next one would be one that my mom, she would rent over and over again, not knowing that we've seen it. So we tell her every time, we've seen this, and then like a week later, she'd come on with the same movie,
and she'd forget she fucking watched it. And my mom did all the time, like, "Oh, I never seen this." Like we talked about, we watched this 20 times. It's like, well, it's new to me. I can't remember. I'll enjoy. Like she loved it. She can watch. I made the joke all the time that she could watch the same fucking movie for the first time 50 times, and I kind of envy it. Like there's movies I wish I could watch for the first time over and over and over again.
Yeah. No, so this one, and I actually did enjoy it. It kind of freaked me out when I was a kid. It's called so it's a Richard Donner film. It's called Radio Flyer. This movie came out in 1992, and it was starring Elijah Wood and Joseph Mazzello, who who was
Yeah,
in like
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
Jurassic Park, yeah.
It also had John Hurt in it. It had it had some other people, but it's pretty much two brothers growing up, and their father was an alcoholic who used to beat him with like belts and hangers, like wire coat hangers and all this. They beat one
Awesome.
of the kids, and he basically wanted to run away from home. So they built an airplane out of a radio flyer, and they basically he wanted to fly away, that sort of thing. And very touching, type of two brothers growing up. One got beat, and he wanted to leave, get away from the abusive father. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it as a kid. My mom, she rented for us all the time. So I don't know. It's one that I'll never forget, and I wish it came out on some sort of format because I'd like to watch it again. But yeah.
I've never seen it. This one I'll bundle in with another movie just because they're birds of the same feather. But The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles. My
Mhm.
mom watched those movies quite a bit, and 16 Candles is just okay. I do like The Breakfast Club a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
That's a great movie. Um, 16 Candles had Duck Dong, the Donger, right? Long Duck Dong or whatever his name is. He's fucking hilarious. You can't do that. You can't have those kind of like stereotypical Asian people in movies anymore. Yeah, kind of like in Revenge of the Nerds too, right? You got
Oh
those.
yeah.
I love it, man. I miss it, man. Fall pie, right?
Yeah. Apple pie.
Okay. But let me see. I honestly only have one more after this. So how many more do you got?
I got like one more.
Okay. So go ahead and talk about yours. I have to step away for 2 seconds. Here, go and talk like 2 seconds. Talk about your movie and I'll chime in and then I'm gonna step away for a second. What's the movie? The big
Oh,
one.
you're not the big one.
Oh,
I don't really have
you
a
already
big
said the
one.
big one? Okay, so
Yeah,
what am I
yeah.
not missing?
You're missing my grandmother's favorite film. It is Robert Redford's The Horse Whisperer.
Oh, so she was also a Duvall and a Redford fan. That makes sense. They go hand
She
in
was
hand.
obsessed with Redford.
Listen to
She
yourself,
wished
you're
my
obsessed.
grandfather's Redford did.
All right,
Yeah, she had a
so preach about Robert Redford for 2 seconds while I step away. I'll be right back.
Okay, so Robert Redford, I think he's basically a horse trainer, and he's trying to help a girl. She's trying to help a girl with horse riding, and she gets injured and that sort of thing. It's not a great movie. Has a killer cast though. Robert Redford's in it. Let's see, Sam Neill's in it. Chris Cooper, Scarlett Johansson, Kate Bosworth. This movie came out in like 1998, and we lived with her for a while, and she would not stop watching this movie. She loved this movie. She loved Robert Redford. So, yeah, we pretty much had to see everything with Robert Redford. Speaking of him, I'll pull up his catalog. I've probably seen it, probably in passing, because I wasn't a huge fan, but she was. So, The Horse, 1998. He's been in everything. He's been a producer for a lot of stuff too. Another staple for me would be Revenge of the Nerds, which we mentioned. The first one, the second one, and then we used to rent Booger Gets a Bride. I think that's the third or fourth one. Where Booger gets married. But yeah, we love the first two. The first one's the best. Revenge of the Nerds is one of the greatest, and I even enjoy two. A lot of people don't like the second one, but then Booger Gets a Bride is pretty. I mean, it's like made for TV, but I enjoy Booger Gets a Bride.
I have to rewatch. It's been a very long time since I've seen Revenge of the Nerds. I mean, I remember it very well. I know all the key scenes. I love it. Carradine
Oh
got away
yeah,
with basically raping a girl, and it was cool back then.
one of my
and
favorite comedies still.
it blows you away, dude. Like if you want to watch a movie that separates itself from modern society on what was acceptable in the 80s, watch Revenge of the Nerds. Like it totally goes against like that whole Me Too movement we had a couple years ago where you had Lewis dress up as Darth Vader, and they went through like their ride or whatever, and he pretended to be that one girl's boyfriend and raped her. And it was just like a high five nerd moment, like nerd love. And I was like, God.
But after she found out, she was all about him, which was funny.
You know what's I know it's that basically paints a good picture. What does that say, everybody? If the girl of your dreams doesn't want you, pretend to be someone else, and God, you just better make sure you're good, I guess. So wow, no Clint Eastwood movies, says Geezer. No Charles Bronson movies. Not in my household. I mean, yeah, of course, I love Clint Eastwood, but they weren't like worn out. You know, of course, we probably watched a Clint Eastwood movie, but I'm talking about the movies that she watched a lot. I mean, my mom was a big fan of John Wayne, right? Movies like The Quiet Man and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really think those were movies that were worn out like to death or anything like that. The last thing I could think of is my mom went through a really, really awkward Steven Seagal phase. So the movies I'm going to put in there are Marked for Death, which is his best movie, and you know you could probably put in like Out for Justice maybe in there too. I guess Hard to Kill. Those are like his like three big ones, right? Under Siege, right? Which
Under Siege 2 is awesome.
I have not watched Under Siege. I don't know if I've seen Under Siege 2 since fucking 1995, whenever it came out.
Casey fucking Ryback.
God, I don't remember. I'd have to. I kind of want to watch that. I revisited the first Under Siege a few months ago, which is a good bad movie. But I love the hokey accent Tommy Lee Jones puts on, and I love just the idea that he's a chef. The chef. Who is the chef? He's more than a chef, isn't he? And he's always got a secret history, a background. Like he's really a hard ass. This fucking whole shit. I just like all the stuff angled around that. It's really funny. Above the Law too. Yeah, he had a strew of movies in there, and I love Executive Decision, but that's honestly not a movie of his, right? He was marketed, he was popular at the time. So when you see Executive Decision now, like if you want to go buy it on Blu-ray, it's only got Kurt Russell on it. It's the movie poster, but it's just Kurt Russell's face. But when it came out, it had both of their faces. They were both marquee on there.
That's how they rented it. Everybody rented it because Seagal was in it.
And he was in it for like fucking 5-10 minutes. And I'll never forget, man, when the plane's hijacked, because Executive Decision is like, it's just Air Force One, right?
Yeah.
It's the same movie. And I remember right at the beginning, man, when the plane's, getting fucked with Air Force One, Steven Seagal is hanging out the plane. I don't remember what happens, but he flies away. He flies off. Like, oh, and I remember my mom.
And you think he's coming back?
Yeah, my mom's like, oh, he's hanging off the wing or something. I'm like, that sounds fucking stupid. But yeah, everybody did because he was an action star and he was popular, but he never came back. He just never came back. It was, and I remember my mom was so disappointed, but I'm sure the movie's better for it because, but it's good. Have you watched it recently?
Not recently, but you always thought he was like hanging on the plane. He was going to come back in the end to kill the bad guy.
Yeah. I bet he would have loved that. Yeah, my mom was pissed.
I was pissed. She left it.
But it doesn't matter. Kurt Russell carried the movie just fine. It's also got John Leguizamo in it. It's got a good ensemble cast.
Lethal Weapon movies as well.
Yeah, we watched Lethal Weapon movies a lot, especially Part 2. Part 2 is the best. We watched Lethal Weapon, but I feel like Lethal Weapon's a little different because I love Lethal Weapon 2 also. We all watched it. They were always on in the house. And I think Lethal Weapon 2 is one of the best action movies of all time.
It's great, man. I love all three of them. I even like the third one.
I think so. I like the third one because I grew up with it, but the third one it's not even close to the second one, really. Like if I watch it with real judgmental eyes, it's good, but it's more of a hokey. I still like it, but to me, and I know I watched an interview with Mel Gibson recently, and he was talking about if he had a favorite Lethal Weapon movie, and he says the first one, and everybody loves the first one. I, of course, really like the first one too, but I feel like Lethal Weapon 2 is one of those rare instances where the sequel is just better.
As good, yeah.
It's better in every way. I think it's better in every way. In the first movie, Riggs, we're establishing the character and all that stuff. He's more serious. He's less silly. He's suicidal. I get it, but I kind of prefer the Lethal Weapon 2 Riggs where
Goofier one.
yeah, where he's he's acclimated, he's got himself back into like normal life. He's got a friend. He's kind of got like a surrogate family in the Murtaughs, and he's more silly. It becomes more of a buddy cop movie, right, with the comedy, and then you get Leo Getz, and when you and Joe Pesci in that is just awesome. And so I just think it's incredible. And then nobody ever talks about it like that, but I think it's one of the greatest action movies ever. It's top 5 for me, action movies. I made you want to be a cop, dude, because they were doing shit.
It is great.
It made you want to be a cop because they were doing all the shit you can't really do if you're a cop. Like, oh, that's what a cop's be. Because remember, like when the one South African guy got thrown through the windshield, he's like, "Are you okay? Okay," and he punched him in the face. Back to sleep. Back to sleep. Like, oh man, he just assaulted that guy when he was out there. It's like, and he just got away with all the cool shit, dude. He's like getting on top of the fucking hoods of cars and in a high speed chase, jumping on fucking trucks and stuff, dude. It's I love it. He had those like Farrah Fawcett locks blowing, dude. He had like that fucking mullet. Awesome. Sean Boyle Everson, 1991, Stone Cold. Stone Cold. I've heard of it. I've actually put it on my watch list. I've never seen it. Have you ever seen Stone Cold?
I haven't.
Yeah, Geezer, of course,
this
watch
is
Die Hard.
Who's in Stone Cold? Brian Bosworth, Lance Hendrickson, William Forsythe. Wow, good cast.
Yeah.
Stone Cold, do you recommend it? I'll have to watch it.
He says, watch it now. Let me make sure it's in my watch list here. Need some
biker gang
movies to watch.
Tries to assassinate.
Let's see.
Attorney. Oh.
Stone Cold. Hell yeah. Yeah, okay. And then of course Die Hard. I don't think Die Hard was really like ran a lot in my house, so I can't say that. And I remember we all liked Die Hard with a Vengeance when it came out, but that came out as a contemporary. I remember when that came out in like 94 or 95. So it's like that's a little bit different than like Pretty in Pink or some movie like that, right? You know, where my mom was watching.
Is that a Kino release or something?
What? What are you talking about?
I don't know what happened. Did something happen?
I think I don't know. Kind of glitched out for a second. It's back. You just said something about a Kino
connection
on my back.
I said, was that a key?
I know. I heard you.
I'm back, but okay.
I don't know, but anyway, I think that's always a telltale sign to wrap it up, just in case something goes fucking awry. But no, it was really fun talking about these movies. I have a couple movies I'm going to put in my watch list though, and I might try and watch here soon. I want to watch Revenge of the Nerds. Did that get a 4K release by a chance?
No, I got a Blu-ray for like $5 of it. It looked good.
Nobody's put out Revenge of the Nerds. That's a total mind blow. Donald Gibb for life. I'm surprised we don't have Bloodsport and Kickboxer and a lot of those big Van Damme movies on 4K. Right? I mean, what have they put out any? Have they put out any of the the only movie I could think of off the top of my head of Van Damme they put on 4K was Universal Soldier a couple years ago, and that is a shit fucking transfer. Waste of money.
Oh, it is?
It looks terrible.
Well, I didn't get it then.
Terrible. Don't waste
Hard
money.
Targets on 4K.
Oh, I have that. I got the Kino Lorber of that, and that looks good. That's really, really good. Yeah,
then
so I think that's the only two that are.
Sudden Death's coming out now too.
Is that going to be Kino Lorber?
I think that's Kino. Yeah,
that's Van Damme heyday. Even though it's just Die Hard on ice, it's not a great movie, but it is a good movie if that makes sense. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and while he's looking that up, I'm gonna start doing the outro here. We're gonna wrap up, but thank you guys. I think next week it was a request last week by our listener Plemke, and he wants us to do our favorites Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. So Riverman has homework. We got this week to sort of really think about our top 5, 5 or so episodes, and there's a lot to choose from, so they really got to be your top 5, and you can come up with some honorable mentions if you want, and that's what we'll do next week. But anyway, until then, if you guys are new here, please on YouTube, please like the video, leave a comment, help us up in the algos. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please do take a look around if you're new. We've got tons of content, tons of podcasts, tons of commentaries, etc., etc. If you want to support, we got a Patreon, we have a Teespring, all that stuff's linked below. We're also on twitch.tv/Revival House. If you could give us a subscription over there. That would be much appreciated. But that's all we got. Geezer, did my mom watch West Side Story? No. Thank the
Mine did
Lord.
all the time. I've seen them a
terrible.
ton too.
I can't do musicals.
I enjoyed it
man.
when I was a
But
kid.
anyway, we're gonna leave on a bad note with that sour taste in my mouth. I fucking hate that. I really, really can't. I can't oversell how deplorable I fucking think that shit is. I hate them. Hate them.
I like them.
Yeah, okay. That tells you everything. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next week. Later. Bye.
Yeah.